Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing? It's a joy and a privilege and a pleasure to be here today on Seven Things at Purpose Arena. I know that very much well. All of us are buzzing for the show today, and I'm quite excited in my spirit as well because we have someone very dear to my heart, and she's going to be sharing with us something that will transform your life, that would literally deliver some people. So this edition of Seven Things is going to be amazing. It's going to be life transforming. So please do me one favor, wherever you're watching from, just so that I know that you're hearing me loud and clear. Help me put in the comment section loud and clear. Yes, just help me put in the comment section loud and clear, just to be sure my audio is going out well. There's no way I can tell myself. I didn't I didn't put anything in place to help me tell if I'm being heard. So please do me a favor. If you're watching this right now, kindly help me type loud and clear if you can hear me loud and clear. If you can't hear me, if I don't say loud and clear, it probably means you can't hear me at all. So please do me that favor. Let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, I can see some people are watching on Facebook, but please help me there. If you're listening to me, yes, loud and clear. Thank you very much. I can see people hearing me loud and clear. Yeah. Thank you very much, like me. Awesome, awesome. Yeah. And those on, yeah, I can see someone's watching on YouTube as well too. That's fantastic. That's great. Welcome everyone. It's a joy once again to be on Seven Things with you today. Every week, like you know, by the grace of God, we bring you people who are fulfilling purpose in an area of life. Dr. Olushala Ajide, God bless you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Who are fulfilling purpose in an area of life, and they come to be a blessing to us from time to time. It's a joy that we are here again today, and I know that it will not be just another show. It will be a life transforming show. My sis Kemi Oye is right in here, the career doctor herself. She's right in the studios with me. I'll bring her up in a minute. But just to highlight a few things before we get started. All right, today she's going to be telling us about seven powerful questions you need to ask yourself about your job and your career. And I tell you, all of us, all of us need this particular talk, this particular message, because many of us are not sure whether the jobs we are doing, is really an assignment for our lives. Some people are just in their job because it pays the bills and it put food on the table. These are some powerful questions to help us align ourselves rightly to our purpose-driven career. If you know the career doctor, mandate is to help us, all get into our purpose-driven career. So, without further ado, let me quickly read her bio. For those who do not know her, maybe you're watching this on YouTube, you don't know her quite well. Let me quickly read her bio for you very quickly. All right. Kemi Oye is a career coach, HR professional, trainer, and speaker based in the UK. Known as the career doctor, God's mandate on our life is to help people discover their purpose driven career so that they can be impactful and fulfilled at work. Our passion for ensuring people are fully engaged at work and maximizing their full potential drives her to do this work using our proprietary 3D framework, discover, design, and develop your purpose-driven career. Kemi recognizes the changing face of the workplace and the corresponding desire for people to be fulfilled. This enables her to use her expertise to help clients look inward to find their unique talents, creating a clear focus and helping them come up with the appropriate application for meaningful, fulfilling, purposeful, and profitable work. You can already get a sense that you're in the right place. Kemi's ambition to see the narrative around work change. She believes that every woman should thrive and love being in the workplace because they are able to deploy their talents, passion, and personality appropriately as opposed to working out of necessity. Isn't that awesome? She's married with two teenage children and enjoys a great time at the spa and being adventurous with new food recipes. Listen, now is the time to enjoy this wonderful woman of God, even as we hear seven powerful questions you need to ask yourself about your job and your career. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are. Join me in welcoming the career doctor. Hello, sis.
Mhm. Hello, hello, hello. Good. Shall I say good evening or good morning or
To the whole world, to tell them everything. Morning, afternoon, evening,
good everything?
everything. Such a joy to have you here again, sis.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's
And
a
you look
pleasure to
amazing.
be here.
You look
Thank you, sir.
amazing
Thank
too.
you. Thank you. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to speak to you. Apart from being here
Praise
today,
God.
it's always a delight to speak to you. So yeah, I'm really privileged and grateful to be here. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
It's a joy. It's a joy. It's a pleasure as well too. And we know that people's lives will be transformed today. This is a message that everyone needs. And without a doubt, someone's life is going to be transformed today. I've just read out your bio, and I personally believe that your bio is your formal way of introducing you. Would you mind telling us a little bit about you for those who perhaps did not attend the first one, and then those who might be meeting you for the first time, please?
So to be fun, to be honest, that's really me. So you've said it all, apart from the fact that I love God. So
Mm,
anytime I talk, I find myself going into scripture because I believe that the Bible, right? The Bible is the
mm,
greatest book of all time. And I was sharing this with someone recently that if you look at any book, whether it's self-help, whether it's health, whether
mm.
any book at all that's been written, the fundamental principles can be traced to the Bible.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
matter who's written the book. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter whether they're a believer or unbeliever.
Mm.
So it really, for me, it just guides everything about how I live, how I think, how everything about me. So
So true.
I guess that's something that, yeah, I would like to emphasize.
Mm,
And also, I live in the UK. I love doing what I do. I'm passionate about what I do, because of course my experience in HR. So I've worked in the HR space for over 20 years, and
mm,
I've seen time and time again situations where I feel, wow, I wish I could help. I wish I could
mm.
speak to this. I wish I could do more. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
just drawn to people not in their
Mm,
rightful place. So yeah,
mm.
that's kind of and I guess that's the reason why God has given me that mandate, because
Yeah.
it's in me. So yeah,
Mm.
that's what I would add to what you've already said.
Awesome, awesome. So anyone watching right now who feel like their job is not right for them, who feel like there's more, who feel like they could be in the right jobs for them, who maybe are not even sure whether they're in the right jobs for them.
Mm.
Today is your day of deliverance. Today is your day of transformation. What you're about to hear will change your life. Trust me, this is coming straight from the throne of grace. And without a doubt, I'm very sure you are going to be blessed. But sis, let's talk about this topic that you have chosen this time. It was different from the one you had
Yeah.
last
Yes.
particular topic, please.
So, like I said, there are various reasons. So this is something that's really, really dear to me. Um, I've seen I've seen four kinds of people in the workplace.
Mm,
Okay.
mm,
And actually, I take this from John Maxwell, who says there are three people in the workplace, but I've added another
mm,
one.
mm-hmm,
And what I've seen in the workplace, as well as John Maxwell saying that they exist, is category number one. So there's this type of person in the workplace who doesn't really know what kind of work that they were designed to do,
mm-hmm,
and they're not doing it. Okay. So I'll go back a step. Everyone who showed up on planet Earth showed up for a purpose. And
yeah,
you cannot fulfill purpose without working. So work is
mm-hmm,
essential to your purpose. You can't say I'm fulfilling purpose without doing something. So what is
yeah,
that one thing that you're
mm,
doing to fulfill purpose? It's
mm, mm,
that's what I call your purpose-driven career, purpose-driven work.
yes,
And there are people in the workplace who they don't know what they were created to do, and they're not doing it. So
mm-hmm,
those people are the type of people you see in the workplace that are very confused. They want to apply
mm,
for any job and every job because everything just seems like it, and they
mm-hmm,
just are confused. Okay. The second set of people are those who they know what they were born to do. They know what they're
mm,
designed to do. They know what they're good at, but they're not doing it. They're just
Hmm.
not doing it for whatever reason, for whatever excuse they've, given themselves. They're not doing it.
Hmm.
And so
Hmm.
those people end up frustrated in the workplace. They're the type of people who they do the job, but they moan all day
Hmm.
long. They complain all day long to anyone who would listen to them about their
Mhm.
job. That's
Hmm.
the second category.
Hmm.
The third
Hmm.
category are the people who are they don't know necessarily know what they don't know what they were born to do, but they're doing the job, but they're comfortable with the job. So they're the
Hmm.
comfortable people who are, they don't necessarily hate Mondays, they don't love Mondays, they don't hate it. They coast
Hmm.
along in the workplace, they just do it, stick to their
Hmm.
job 9 to 5, 5 o'clock, they're clocking in, clocking out. 5 o'clock,
Hmm.
they're packing their bags, off they go. They're not committed to work. They're not, they don't have any
Mm. No
contribution
sense
at
of
all. They just
commitment, no sense of
no.
fulfillment, nothing. Mm.
It's just
Mm.
I'm comfortable. I'm just comfortable, and that's the third
Mm.
category. And then you have
Mm.
the fourth category, which I believe everyone has a right to be in this category. And the
Mm.
category of people who know what they should be doing and they're doing it, and they're living in that
Mm.
place of
Amen
fulfillment,
to
that
that.
place of
Mm.
completeness, where they
Mm.
are putting their talents, their passion, and their personality to use. Now, why
Mm.
did I choose this topic? So, Socrates said, the unexamined life is not worth
Mm.
living.
Not worth
Okay?
living. Mm-hmm.
It's not worth living. Now, I say the unexamined job or career is not worth having.
It's
If you
wow.
haven't
Wow.
examined what you're
Mm.
doing, there's no point. And therefore, you need to ask yourself certain questions about the work
Mm.
that you're doing to know
Mm.
whether you're on the right track or on the wrong track, and what do you need
Mm.
to do to get on the right track to that place of
Wow.
fulfillment. So
Wow.
that's why I've chosen it. It's if you don't
Wow.
ask certain questions, you won't have the
Mm.
answers to the questions. So yeah, so
My
you need to
goodness.
be deliberate and intentional about the
Yeah.
questions you're asking yourself about the job you're doing or the career you're in.
Wow. In fact, it says you've started with a bang because these four categories of people, all of us can place ourselves, on one of them. We could literally identify ourselves as either being confused, frustrated, comfortable, just coasting on, or fulfilled. So, someone watching this right now, whichever identity you can give yourself based on those four people in the workplace, listen, you have come to the right place. You have come to the right place to understand what you need to do from where you are right now to get to where you need to be. And where you need to be is that place of fulfillment where you are doing what you are called and born to do. It's going to be amazing today. So let's jump right into it. So, what is that number one question that we need to ask ourselves about our jobs and our career?
So I don't want to take too much time, but just before I go on to question one,
Yes, no worries.
there is hope for those categories. So for the three categories of people, so the
Mm.
frustrated, confused, and comfortable, there is hope. So if you're in any of those categories, if you're
Amen.
confused,
Mm.
then what the work I do is how to find your path, how to find your
Mm.
perfect career fit. If you're frustrated, it's about breaking down those limiting beliefs and fear and everything you have to move you into
Mm.
the place where you need to be. And if you're comfortable, I'm looking at there's more to life. There's more
Mm.
there's more to life. So don't just live
Mm-hmm.
yourself. Okay? So
Mm.
that's what I wanted to say before we jump in. So
Awesome.
question one is, why am I doing now? Before I go into question one, again, there are two things that I'd like for everyone listening to do. I'd like for you to take notes, and I would like for you to have a section in your notepad where you put
Mm.
actions that I must take after this
Mm.
session. So, actions, so the things that you're going to do differently, and the notes,
Mm-hmm.
just questions that you really need to think about. So, the first
Mm.
question is, why am I doing the work I do now?
Mm.
What's the reason? Why are you doing it?
Mm.
Now, if you tell me you're doing it for money, then I'm concerned, very
Mm.
concerned. Because whilst it's good, yeah, everyone needs to survive. You need a job to provide, for
Mm.
your
Mm.
needs. That
Mm.
shouldn't be your why.
Wow.
You didn't show up on earth to make money.
To make money.
You should,
Thank you.
you no, that's okay. So,
Mm.
and if you're telling me, oh, I'm doing gives me that status, then you've missed it. Because
Mm.
again, it's not about the status. It's not even about, what position you're in. Why are you? So it's a question that you
Mm.
really have to dig deep and think about the motivation behind why you got into what you're doing even now. So were there
Mm.
any influences on your life to get you to where
Mm.
you were? And I remember this, right? So when I was born in the UK and then I went back to Nigeria. So I lived in Nigeria for a few years. And I
Mm.
came back to study because Nigeria is very unsettled. And university, you could spend like an extra 3 years doing a course. So you could spend 7 years doing a 4 year course.
Mm.
So I came back
Mm.
to the UK purely to
True.
study, right? Purely to study. That's what it
Mhm.
was. And at the time, I came back to stay with my aunt. And at the time, she was a nurse. Sadly, she passed on Sunday, but she was a
Mm.
nurse. And she said to me, "Oh, Kemi, I think you should do nursing. I think, nursing." And I looked at my auntie like, seriously, I'm the sort of person I can't even see blood. However, am I going to go into nursing and be a good nurse? So the
Mhm.
motivation behind that for her was it's good money, it's comfortable,
Mhm.
it's
Stable
secure.
job.
You can get
Secure.
it's
Yeah.
stable, you can
Mm.
get a job in the world, blah, blah, blah. But for me at the time, I was like, oh, I can't handle blood. But the sad thing is, if I was somebody who could handle blood, would I have done it? Maybe so. Maybe so,
Mm.
because she was doing
Your
very
only
well.
indication. Your only indication was you couldn't handle blood at
Maybe
that time.
so. Maybe so.
Mm.
So maybe there's someone out there who's been led to doing what they're doing because maybe their parents
Mm.
have
Mm.
said,
Yeah.
"Oh, you this is what you need to do. I'd like for you to do this because of the
Mm.
status, because I want the name doctor beside, the title doctor or engineer or accountant or
Precisely.
lawyer.
Mm.
You know, it's all those things. So it's time to really focus on why are you doing it? And if you're telling me
Why?
that well, my job is all right. Then
Mm.
the meaning of all right is all right. It's two words. It's an altered right. It's not right.
Mm.
It's not all right. It's an
Wow.
altered, it's become, when you say it's all right, it's become the norm. You've accepted that it's
Mm.
fine. It's okay. No,
Wow.
there's a place where there's a place called
Mm.
fulfillment, fulfilled.
Mm.
You need to be in that place. So if the question to me asking that I've just asked, so the question I've asked, why are you doing the job
Mhm.
that you're doing now? If you've answered any of those things, then it's
Mm.
time you reflect back and start to think, how can I be in that place of
Mm.
fulfillment? How can I get into the place where I'm doing what I was designed to do?
To do.
Because you
Amen
were
to that.
created for a particular thing. You were
Mm.
designed, your voice, your height, your
Amen.
posture, your
Amen.
complexion, your face,
Mm.
your everything
Mhm.
was designed for you to do the
For.
work
Mm.
that
Wow.
God has assigned you to do. You were designed specifically, you were equipped. So God has
Amen.
deposited inside of you everything you need to become that person that you should be. So you don't need to do anything else but to look inside of you.
Amen.
That's the first
Wow.
question.
Wow. That
Okay.
first question is so powerful. Very, very powerful. And all of these different drives and motivations that you mentioned, sis, unfortunately, those are the major reasons why many people are in their jobs today. And like most of them are wrong. Money, bills. The other day someone asked me and said, I was speaking on a live stream. The person said, "Oh, but sir, I'm working in a high company at the moment. I know I'm not supposed to be there. I know what my calling is." The person literally knows their calling, right? But because the oil company pays the bills and they're frustrated there, but they would rather stay there because it pays the bills and you know and the person was asking the question on the live stream and I was literally begging the person. I'm like, I'm not saying you should leave your job immediately, But since you
Mm-hmm.
know quite clearly what you're supposed to be doing, you need to be working on the transition to go in there so that you can live a fulfilled life. It's not worth living this short life that we all have. But two, let's go into number two. Someone is already getting delivered. Amen.
Yeah. So that person has an advantage in that they even know. There are people who
Mm,
don't
yeah,
know.
they do.
They have an
You said
advantage
it does.
over people who
Mm,
just don't know. So I think, yeah, it's I think it's one of those difficult ones because on one hand you
mm,
see the bills, but if you get the bigger picture, what's the bigger picture? It's beyond
mm,
money. It's about lives.
yeah.
It's about, living a
Mm,
life of impact. But anyway, so yeah. So the second question, which is kind of linked to the first one, is
yeah.
if I wasn't paid for 9 months, will I continue
Mm,
doing the work that I do now? So if you were not paid for 9 months, what would you do? What would you carry on doing the work that you're doing? So this person who said to you, I know what I want to do, but the money is good. If the money was
mm,
removed from the equation, what would they do? That's
mm,
that's the answer there. It's the thing that they
mm,
know that they should be doing.
mm,
So if the answer is no, then my question is, why aren't you doing what you know you should be doing?
mm,
Why? What's the
mm.
reason? And 9 times out of 10, it's limiting beliefs. It's
Yes,
fear.
yes.
It's
Mm-hmm,
limiting beliefs that, oh, I'm not
mm-hmm,
ready. I'm not good enough. It's too late. I've come this far. I've studied, I don't know, whatever it is. I've spent so much time at university. I've got all
mm,
this
mm.
experience,
What
and
will people
I
think?
can't throw it away. What will people say? I don't know
Mm,
what to do. Blah blah blah. And really, It's not. It's really not about not. Yeah, it's not about what other people think. It's about what
mm.
God thinks.
Amen.
It's
Amen
about
to that.
he has deposited something in you to do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
So his perspective matters more than anyone else's.
Yes.
And I'll share this. So people will see you from different perspectives, but you
Mm-hmm.
really need to understand how God sees you. And I'll use the example of Joseph in the Bible. Okay. So Jacob, his father, saw a fine son. His brother saw a useless brother.
Mm.
The prison guard saw a prisoner. Potiphar saw a fine servant. Potiphar's wife saw a potential boyfriend. But
mm.
God saw a potential prime minister.
Mm. Mm.
So if you're thinking, what do other people think or say? Well, people think different things, and they're
Mm-hmm.
thinking who you are not who you
Mm.
are.
Which is
Right?
dangerous. Mm.
It's absolutely dangerous. So the question is, if you're not paid for 9 months,
Mm.
what would you do? Would you really still carry on? I don't think so. For most people, I don't
Mm.
think so at
Mm. Mm.
all.
Mm. Wow. Wow. And
And
yeah. Mm.
when I talk about limiting beliefs, I hear people say, okay, I meant to do this, but there's always a but. And the thing is, the
Mm.
minute you start to say but, you're limiting yourself. You've
Mm.
put like something, you've put a block on what you're thinking of. You put a block on everything else that you can think of because that
Mm.
but has just discredited everything you've just said. It's wiped it
Wow.
all off. And I have to say, everything was impossible until someone did it.
Mm.
So if you're
True.
thinking, oh, it's impossible, everything is until someone stood out and went for it. And I'll use an example. A guy called Roger Bannister, I think that's his name, in the year
Mm.
1954, he broke the 4 minute mile run. The four
Mm-hmm.
minutes. So he ran a mile in 4 minutes. He broke the record in 1954. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2 months later, 2 months later, 2 months later, six people broke that record.
Because
So
someone opened
everything
the way.
is in
Mm,
everything is impossible until someone does it. So
mm,
let go of all those limiting beliefs of but. Everything would
mm,
seem impossible until you step out there and do it.
mm, mm. Wow. Wow. These are questions that people don't sit down to ask themselves from time to time. And this is why I feel this is a liberation service for someone. Literally, we could be asking ourselves, what is your but? What is that but that is holding you back? What is the but that is making you not to do what you're supposed to be doing, what you're designed to do, what you're, wow, very, 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 very powerful. And everyone, literally, many people, 90% of people have got this but. They know clearly what they're supposed to, but the bills I have to pay. But what my dad will say and my mom will say, but what my friends will say, and oh my goodness. May God deliver
So
some people in Jesus' name. Mm,
what I would say about the but is never put a but before a desire. So never put
mm,
a but before a desire. So I want to do this but. Never put a
mm,
but before a desire. Because when you
mm,
desire something, it's because your heart desires it. And God
mm.
has given you, so there's something about your heart that your heart will never desire anything that you're not capable of achieving. It doesn't
Wow.
have the capacity to desire it. So if you desire
Mm,
something, it's because you're able to achieve it.
mm. Never put a
So if you
but.
put a but before a desire,
Mm, wow.
it's a complete barrier.
Mm. It is. It is. It is a
Mm.
barrier. It is a barrier. Wow. So let's go to number three. Mm.
Okay.
Wow.
So number three is this is an interesting one. So it's what vacuum does my absence at work create?
Woo! mm.
What vacuum?
Mm.
What's the impact of your absence? Each time you're not at
Wow.
work, what is the difference?
Mm.
Now,
Mm.
if are
Mm.
you easily substituted? Are you
Ooh.
easily replaced? What impact? What vacuum? If you say to me, well, if I go on leave for 3 weeks and I come back and there's nobody has missed you, then there's a problem. There's a
yeah,
problem.
yeah. You're not in the right place. So, mm.
There's a problem. There's a problem.
Mm.
There's a problem. There's a
Mm.
problem.
Wow.
So I think in terms of you being out of the office for a period of time, your impact, it needs to be felt that you're not there because you're doing something creative,
Mm.
something positive.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's question three. If you're not there, when you
Mm.
come back from leave,
Mm.
what's the temperature? What do people feel? What do they say? What's going on?
Mm. Mm.
Do they really miss you, or do they even not notice that you left and came back?
yeah,
because,
yeah. I
because
wanted to say that there are some people that they won't even notice they left. Oh, you mean you went on leave? Oh, I didn't know. Wow. Hmm. Hmm. Wow. So if you get that kind of answer, it's very clear you're
mm,
in the wrong place. You're in the wrong job for you. But when even you are away and people are calling you, they are wanting to find out, they're asking after you, that is a clear indication that you are in the right place.
mm.
Hmm.
Or to
Hmm.
be honest, so for it just depends. So for example,
Okay.
if they're missing you because there's something you do, but the way you do it is so
Hmm.
distinctive. So for example, you've taught someone else to cover for you, for example. But the way that person has covered for you is not quite the same way as you would do
You
that
do it.
piece of work.
Hmm.
So it's not necessarily in that, oh, she's not here, so dump it and wait till she comes back. It's really about how what what difference does your absence make
What
to somebody?
uniqueness do you bring?
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's so important, so important,
Mm,
so important.
mm. Wow.
Mm.
I believe if this is blessing you and you're watching this, just put in the comments, say this is good. Say this is good. Yes. I want to see in the comments, this is good. These are
Mm.
powerful, thought-provoking questions that if you, I mean, we're just in number three now, right? If you begin to apply them to your job and you to ask yourself right now, I know some people will not admit it, but if one will be honest to answer all these questions, you will be getting some pointers to your life and you'll be realizing whether you're in the right place, in the right career for you or not. Sis, thank you. Let's go to number
Mm.
four.
So number four is kind of related to number three in a little way. The question is, what is your value quotient?
Hmm.
Quotient is simply the amount of specified quality or characteristics. So, what is your value quotient? How
Hmm.
valuable are you?
Hmm.
What contributions do you make beyond your job description? So,
Hmm.
what contributions do you make? And I put down here, I actually wrote this down. I said value is measured in the workplace in these areas. So if you cannot say that you have added value in any of these areas, then you need to
Hmm.
rethink a few things. The first
Good
one is
job.
if you're not helping your employer increase their profits, if you're not
Hmm.
helping them reduce costs, if you're not helping them sell more, if you're not helping them solve a problem, if you're not
Hmm.
improving efficiency, raising quality, generating ideas, or improving the brand experience, those measures, if you're not doing
Hmm.
any of those, then you're just taking up space. There's no
Hmm.
point being there. So
Hmm.
your difference, you being them, there must be a way where people are doing things better, faster, cheaper. What?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, there just has to be that value that you're adding.
Wow.
And in terms of your value quotient, it really is about what difference do you make to your team, to your organization. So, for example,
Hmm.
it's possible that you're in the right team but wrong
Hmm.
organization. It's possible
Ooh.
that you're in the right organization but the
Or
wrong
wrong.
industry. It's
Hmm.
possible that you're in the right industry but the wrong location. So all
Wow.
those things are very important.
Hmm.
It's possible. It's possible.
Wow. Wow. Powerful, 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 powerful pointers to helping us discover our purpose driven career. So, so powerful. These are
Mm,
things that can bring alignment to your life. And when your life
mm,
aligns, it automatically translates to fulfillment, and
mm,
satisfaction and influence and significance. Powerful stuff. Powerful. What is your value quotient? How valuable? I don't know if it's a question
mm,
that many people ask themselves a lot, but since I think about 3, 4 years now, it's been the most question I ask myself all the time: how valuable I am. What's my value beyond this workplace now? And I remember something happened. I was at work the other day, and one of my colleagues, so a new person had just come to visit us at work, and they were introducing us. And I had introduced myself. I just said, "Oh, I'm Dr. Samuel Akunda. I teach on the IT. I teach in the IT department." And one of my colleagues, who's not even in the IT department, was in the business department, said, "Oh, don't mind Samuel. He's just being humble. He's just doing this work just to make us all feel good. It doesn't belong here." He literally said those words. He's so popular out there. And then he went on, he said, he's so popular out there, I have to be shutting him up. Hey, don't, it's so popular out there. He's a speaker, he's a coach, he's a this, like, oh, where, help. Like, just, but the point I'm trying to make is when you're valuable, even people will know that you are valuable. They know how valuable you are. And it's so important. It's so important for every one of us to have that sense of value. It's so important for our life. It's so important for what God is going to do with us. Says, thank you very much. Do you want to add anything to that, or should we go to five? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'll just explain. So how is it that some people are
Mm,
headhunted in the workplace, in the marketplace? They're headhunted, and some people
mm,
have to struggle to get a job. What's
mm.
the difference between someone who's headhunted and someone who literally struggles to go through the hoops to get a job? The difference is the value that they bring,
The
the
brain.
value that they've added, the value that they've added to an organization that makes them sought after, that makes them just someone who is
Mm,
almost like indispensable. When
mhm.
within the workplace, you're someone that they value so much that they'd beg you to leave, not to leave, you
The
know?
beg you not.
So I
Mm.
think, mm, mm, mm. So yeah, it's yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like I've had in the past, I've seen people where they've tendered their resignation and they've been like, no, you can't go anywhere because we
Anywhere. What?
value you so much because we
Mm. Wow.
and even in my own life, right? Even in my own life, I've done a lot of interim contracts and I still do interim work.
Mm.
Um, and I've had situations where I've worked in places where I've been called back.
Mm.
Not even just literally, oh, can you come back and help us do some more work? Simply
Mm.
because of the value that I was able to give at the time I was there. And that's happened quite a few times in my career.
Mm.
And one was even shocking to the point
Mm.
where I was called back, and the manager at the time said to me, "What do you want me to pay you?"
Wow.
It was,
You tell.
I mean, even yes, even the contract that I'm working on now is the same thing.
Mm.
What is your fee? And I'm like, what? Like, Holy Ghost, help me because right now I don't know. Yeah,
Cause. Wow.
it's really a case of, are you commanding your salary or are you dictating your salary?
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Are you
That's
able
what
to do that? Because
I do for you.
mm, you're able to, put a price on what you would work for,
Mm.
basically.
Wow. 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 I have a saying says, I'm not sure whether you've come across it. I often say that your value at the table is your place at the table is often determined by the value you bring to the table. If you don't like your
Mm,
place on the table, simply up the value you bring to the table. Everybody's position on any table is determined by the value they bring to the table. When we sit on that dining, during
mm,
family dinner, and they say that chair there is daddy's chair, that one is mommy's chair. The rest, everyone can sit there. The
mm,
difference is
mm.
the value that daddy brings to the table. That's why you cannot go and
Yeah,
sit on daddy's chair. And the one that mommy
that's
sits on is the value she brings to the day. The rest, everyone can then, decide where you want to sit.
true.
But the
Yeah.
valuables is for daddy because daddy made that dinner possible, or mommy made that dinner possible. So
Mm,
powerful. You want your
mm.
position to table, you've got to up your value at that table. So let's go to number 5. Thank you.
Yeah, and it results in influence again. So it's that impact, value, and influence. So
Yes.
the impact and value is the seed you sow, and then the
Mm,
harvest is the influence that you get from the seed that you sow.
mm.
So,
Please, let's repeat that. Let's repeat that. Somebody should help us type that out. Impact is the seed you
oh,
sow. Yes.
mm.
And
Then the
and
influence
the
is the
influence
harvest you get.
is the harvest. My
Is the
God.
harvest
Mm.
you get. Mm,
Wow. Wow. Okay.
mm.
Thank you, sis. Let's go to number
Okay.
5, please. Mm.
So
The
number
harvest.
5, I love this one because it not only relates to in the workplace, it's also relating to, outside of the workplace. And the question is, do I have relationship capital?
Mm.
Do I have relationship capital? So if your relationship capital is, if we were to say capital of your relationship is 100, how much is yours? And what I
Mm.
mean by that is what are your relationships like at work? And this is
Mm.
so fundamental, so fundamental, so fundamental. So within the workplace, you have different types of people. Communication is very important, and networking with people is very important. But you have
Mm-hmm.
different types of people within the workplace who you must be able to connect with, because
Mm.
the value of your relationships, it's currency. Your relationships is
Yes.
currency. You
Yes.
trade with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You trade with it. So there are different types of people in the workplace. You've got the people who are connectors, and you need to understand the connectors in the workplace. So these are people who often show up as, they don't necessarily have great positions. They don't
Mm.
have positions where you think, oh, they just look like, okay, they're just random. It could be the cleaner. But
Mm.
those people are, it's possible that they connect you to to your promotion.
Mm.
They connect you to the
Mm.
higher
Wow.
places where you want to go. So they don't come
Wow.
across as people. In fact, you probably almost ignore them in the workplace because
They don't have,
they don't seem like
but they have
anything to you.
influence. Mm.
And you
Mm.
need to be able to understand that there are people who will connect you to your greatness, and they don't necessarily show up as great people in the workplace. Remember the
Wow.
story of Naaman in the Bible? He was leprous, and it was a slave girl that said to him, "Oh, this is what you need to do." You know, a slave girl who literally was, it was like, "Who are you to tell me what to do?" So there are people in the workplace that you must never look down on. And so when I talk about
Mm.
relationship capital, it's all encompassing in the workplace. Never look down on anyone, because your
Mm.
relationships will either move you forward or drag you backwards in the workplace. There are other people who are influencers. There are people who are, they're what you call the sponsors. So they're typically people who would give a good word in for you. They get
Mm.
to places where you can't get to. So you need to work really closely with people like that in the
Mm.
workplace.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
There are people who are gifted, who are just great at what they do. So you need to draw on their gifts to help you
Yes.
do better at work. There are people who are your confidants, who you can depend on, who you can speak to about issues, challenges, and they
Mm.
would help you.
Mm.
Now, the reason why I'm talking about this whole relationship capital is you need to build it. So if you have
Mm.
zero balance in your account out of 100,
Mm.
then it
Mm.
means that you're not able to relate to people in the environment that you're in. And so you're in the wrong place.
Mm.
If you're not
Ooh.
able to relate with all these people in the workplace, and you just come in and stick to yourself and you
Mm.
don't speak to anyone, and or you just network with only a certain type of people because that's, you're used to them, then you're going wrong in the
Mm.
workplace. So you really need to think about, what is your relationship capital? How much do you have in your how much out of 100, say? Where do
Mm.
you rate
Mm.
on a scale of 0 to 100? What's the relationship with your subordinates, superiors, colleagues? What is it like? Even the cleaners in the workplace, they have that
Mm.
potential to do great things for you. You may not know.
Wow.
So it's, how do you relate with people like that? If you
Wow.
feel, if you're not, again, you could be in the wrong team, you could be in the wrong organization or location or industry, whatever it is. So it's really important to be mindful of the relationship capital you're building. Okay, because
Mm.
each time you connect, you're depositing money into that account. Each time you connect with people, you're building. And one day when you need that money, so say you built up to 80%, and one day you need a favor, you're drawing from that account. You're pulling from that
Mm.
account. So if you're not able to pull from anything, then it shows that
You have not deposited anything.
you're not in the
Mm.
right environment. You haven't been in the
Wow.
right environment to deposit that capital, that money that you
Wow.
need,
Wow.
that you will
Wow.
need
So,
later on in future.
so if we go back to those four people that you mentioned earlier on, if you're confused, if you're frustrated, if you're just
Yeah,
comfortable, there's a likelihood you would have a very poor relationship capital. But then again, if you're fulfilled, you're joyful, you're
absolutely.
happy. Wow, wow. Even the cleaners will be your best, will be your friend. You would be, oh
Absolutely.
my goodness. Wow, 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 wow. So
Absolutely.
relevant, so powerful, so germane, so germane. This is very powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So let's go into. Do you want to add anything to that, or should we go straight to number six?
No, I think I just wanted to echo that actually you're right
Mm.
because if people who are confused or frustrated,
Yeah,
they tend to
or just
just not they
comfortable.
ignore
Mm.
everyone. They ignore, yeah, they just ignore, they just want to get on and do their work 9 to 5 and leave in out. They've got no association with people and yeah, so you're right. That there's that link. Yeah, there's
No,
that link.
them because they're they don't. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Let's go to number six.
Mm. So, number six is a question that you really need to ask yourself in terms of how do you take stock? So,
Mm.
again, the question is what is the most creative or exciting thing that you have done in the last 3 months? If you're not able
Mm.
to say that this is something that you have done that you're really proud of or has been creative or exciting, then you're whiling away time.
Mm.
You're whiling away time. And the issue is, right, that if you're in a place where you don't belong, the time that you're wasting is time lost on perfecting an area where you could be great at. So, if you're not
Wow.
doing anything exciting, creative, inspiring, then you're
Impactful.
merely coasting and you're just
Wow.
existing.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
That one is thought provoking. Thought provoking. Wow. Very thought provoking. People who are fulfilled
And you
will
need
be
to, yeah,
naturally creative in their area.
naturally.
Wow. Sorry, please go ahead. Mm.
Naturally, naturally
Mm.
creative, naturally focused. They enjoy what they do, they love what they do. And I
They-
have to say something. So, even if you're in that place where you feel, I don't love what I do, but you're doing it, I think it's important that you still, whilst you're making that transition between where you are and where you want to be, it's important that you still continue to be creative. You still continue to be as excited as you can be in that
Mm.
place where you don't necessarily like. Because
Mm.
what is likely to happen is someone will spot you and they'll
Mm.
be like, this person is very good at what they do, even though you don't love the job, even though it's not your area
Mm.
of calling.
Mm.
You need to love what you do until you find what you love, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm.
You
Mm.
need to
Mm.
be able to show that enthusiasm. So when people are saying I'm bored of my job, it's because they're not looking for creative ways to do things differently.
Mhm.
Just
Mhm.
because you've done it for 5 years in the same way doesn't mean you carry on doing the same thing in the same way. You need to find more creative ways to do things
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
excitable
Wow.
times, excitable ways to do things, because that way you're more engaged, even though it's not
Mhm.
the best, but at least you're doing it with some sense of okay,
Yeah.
inspiration, with a view to
Wow.
impacting and making a difference in the
Yeah.
workplace.
Mhm.
Because
Wow.
if you started a job and you did it in 2 years and you didn't do anything different to how you started, then there's a problem.
A big
There's a
problem.
problem.
Mm.
If you've done
Mm.
the job for 2 years or however long and you're doing it in the same way, there's a problem.
Mm. Mm.
You need to be able to do things better, but there's always a better way. There's always a
Yeah.
quicker way, there's always a fast, there's always a better way, a
A
different way to
creative
do things,
way.
a
Mhm.
creative way to do things. So
Wow. Yeah. This reminds me of an
that's it.
example. So there's one of the courses that I teach, and before I started to teach this course, someone else taught it. Someone else actually designed it. And of course, I've taught a lot of courses that a lot of other people designed. But this one, I'm very passionate about it. It's something I enjoy doing. It's something that have a lot of experience in. So of course, I couldn't redesign it because someone else was course coordinating the course. So I waited for a long time till that person left. I think the person left last year. So they made me course coordinator for the course because they could see that I was passionate about it anyway. So, my head of school just said, "Oh, Samuel, that course is now yours. Come and see how joyful I was." I turned the whole thing around, redesigned it, redeveloped it. When my students are on Purpose Arena or former students are on Purpose Arena now, so they probably be able to testify to what I'm saying. The course is called Advanced Mobile and Wireless Technologies. By the time I turned it around, right, sis, it was like it was a complete shadow of its past. It was I turned it around that it became exciting. The students had a project to work on. The entire project was exciting for them. In fact, the students would finish the course, they would email me back and say, Samuel, Advanced Mobile Wireless was the best course I've done in my life. I'm not talking about one person. I'm not talking about two. I'm not talking about three. I'm not talking about four. Because the course was just different from every of our other courses. And most of the other courses I have, I've not been able to leave my imprint on them because I'm not course coordinating them. If I'm not course coordinating them, it's hard for me to leave my. But this one, they've given it to me. Do whatever you want with it. I'm like, you're here. And now my colleagues are asking me, Samuel, what's this model? How did you do this? Because it's not usual. It's not normal. Like everyone just does 2 assignments and do this. But the way I've done it is to the glory of God. It's just been very exciting for the students, very exciting to teach as well. And of course, what is getting out? What is getting out to my colleagues? What is getting out? And so everyone is asking, how? What do you do here? How did you put that group assignment together? And I keep saying to them, this is how I do. But no, that's not common. Yes, it's not common because this is what's obtainable in the industry. It makes so much sense. But what you're just saying right now, because the creativity would always flow when there is fulfillment. Creativity will flow when there is excitement. Creativity will flow when there is, a sense of impact. Very powerful stuff. I can attest to that one. I can surely attest to that one. If creativity is no longer flowing, it means probably your time is up or you are not in the right place.
You're too dry. Wow. So it's almost like a cycle. So creativity allows you to add value, then impact. It gives you that impact and influence. Yeah, it's kind of like that. That's how it works.
That impact is very visible because students who have finished the course would come back and email, which they didn't do before. If they emailed before, it was just about my personality. They say things like, "Oh, Sam, you're a great teacher," that's all. But for them to email back and talk about the course, it's This is very, very, very true. Very, very true. Let's go to number 76.
Yeah. Okay. So the final one is, so if you left the organization, will you re-employ you? Think about it.
Re-employ you. Wow.
So if you were the employer, if you were the CEO of that organization and you left the organization, would they re-employ you? Would you? No, not even them. If you were the CEO, would you tell yourself to come back to the organization? And that is a function of the impact, influence, value, and everything that we've talked about. So if you cannot say that if you leave this organization, they would literally beg you to come back, then you've just wasted however many months, years that you've worked in that place. If you are not able to say without a shadow of doubt, I would have this person back within a twinkling of an eye, then that's not the job. You're in the wrong place. So even as you are now, the level, no one knows you more than you. So if you think about your commitment, your value adding, everything you've done within that team or organization, has it benefited anyone? So think about your impact. And would you, if you were running that organization, would you have you in that organization?
Wow.
That's a question you can only answer for yourself.
Would you re-employ you? Wow.
So when you leave, what would people say about you when you leave? Would they be like, thank God. they'd be like,
Hmm.
oh my God, I
Hmm.
can't believe this person's leaving. Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? Blah, 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 blah,
Hmm.
blah. We'll never be able to substitute this person because of their impact. Or would it just be, oh, have they left? When did they leave? Like, when was their last day?
We don't even
When
know
was
when
their
they
last
left.
day?
2 weeks ago. Nobody even knows. Wow. Hmm. Hmm. Wow.
If you come into a team or organization and there's no difference, so you
Hmm.
meet it in a certain way and you leave it in the same way. So you've literally just walked through and
Something is
nobody's
wrong.
noticed. Something
Hmm.
is very wrong. Something is
Very,
very wrong.
very,
And
very
do you know,
powerful.
do you know the thing is, it doesn't mean to say you're not good at what it just means you're in the wrong place, you're in the wrong job, you're not working on honing,
Hmm.
you're not playing to your strengths. You're not playing to your talents, your abilities, your personality, your passion, and all those things. They
Hmm.
really matter to what you do. Because if your personality, you need to really understand, and this is some of the things that I do. So you need to understand who you are before you then decide, am I suited to this job? If a job
Hmm.
demands you to like travel all over the country and you hate traveling because your personality is, why would you do that job? Oh, because of the money or because of the status. So those
Hmm.
things really matter because after a few months you get fed up, because
So
you
true.
can't carry on. After a while, even money fails. After a while, money fails, and you begin to think,
Mm-hmm.
oh, there's more to life, there's more to life, there's more, I need to do more.
Hmm.
No matter how much
Hmm.
you're earning, if you're in the wrong
Hmm.
place, it doesn't matter how much you're earning. It doesn't matter.
Wow. Hmm. If
You
you're in
will
the wrong
always
place,
seek for,
it
so
does not matter how much you are. Wow. Wow.
it doesn't matter.
Hmm. If you're in the
Initially, for
wrong
like the
place,
first 6 months,
hmm.
you would love it, but after a while, the money it just loses its value because you're not fulfilled. Fulfillment is far greater. I mean, it's the highest, it's the most expensive thing that you can ever ask for in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth a lot more than money. Fulfillment is worth thousands more. Because when
Yes.
you're fulfilled, it doesn't just affect you in the workplace. It affects your family. It affects your, home life, your other life
Mm.
outside of work. It affects everything else.
Everywhere.
Because
Mm.
if, so for example, you're in a job that you don't like, and this is, I think I explained this a while ago about the signs of
Mm-hmm.
being in a job that you hate or that you're not suited to.
Mm-hmm.
So your body goes to work, and your mind stays at home
mm.
because the two things are not in sync. Your body, so you're physically present at work, but your mind is far away from work because you
Wow.
hate it, you don't like it, you don't love it.
Hmm.
So your body's like doing all the work, your mind is, and that's why you're not creative because your mind is at home. It's doing other things. You can't be creative because your mind's somewhere else. And then Friday, it's like, whoa, yes,
Yeah.
I'm going home to, I'm going home on Friday to
Mm.
meet my mind, we'll do all
Mm.
things. And then come Sunday
Mm.
evening,
You,
the mind is like,
mine
oh
has
Jesus,
disappeared
I don't
again.
want to, I don't want to go.
Mm.
I just don't. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
And the thing is, I've seen this all the time, and even people don't recognize it. They know
Mm.
it, but they don't recognize that actually it's affecting them. It's a big problem
Mm.
until you
Mm.
actually point it out. I often people would say to me, "Oh, I need to find another job. I'm looking. What do you think?" Particularly in this COVID season, people would say, "Oh, what jobs are going? What are the popular jobs?" And you're like, "What do you mean? What are the popular jobs? Do you just want any job? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Anything will do." Because it's
Mm.
difficult times at the moment. It's COVID's introduced technology and this and that. So maybe I should just go and do this course to like get a job in this. And it's like, why are you doing that? You're not designed to do that.
Mm.
You're not
Mm.
designed for that particular purpose. So you're literally abusing yourself
Mm.
because you know what they say about
Absolutely.
when a purpose of a thing is
Purpose is
not
not
known.
known. Abuse is
Abuse. So you're
inevitable.
literally abusing yourself. So if other people are abusing you, don't be offended because you're actually doing it to yourself.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I think it
Wow.
was Miles Monroe that said abuse is abnormal use. So you're
Yes.
using your mind for something that shouldn't be used. You're using it for something that it shouldn't be used for.
Mm.
And
Mm.
therefore it can't be as productive, it can't be as inspiring,
As
it can't be
effective.
as you can't be
Mm.
as motivated because you're using it for the wrong thing. You can't
Mm.
use a dustpan to paint the wall. It's not going to achieve what you want it to achieve.
Mhm. Mhm. Wow. 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 These 7 questions call for reflection. They call
Mm.
for sitting down. In fact, they call for a coach. Somebody watching this right now says, what's the way forward for that person? What is the way forward?
So
Who's that person who's watched this and they're like, I've asked all this question and I'm very honest. I am not where I'm supposed to be. What do you advise for them? What's the next?
I think a lot of people are in that position. A lot of people. So you're not alone. That's the first thing I would say. You're not alone. There are thousands of people. I've seen a lot of statistics. I've seen, statistics where people have said out of this survey, 80% of people are not fulfilled at work, 75%
Mm,
of people are not happy. And in fact, a LinkedIn survey I looked at recently said 47% of people are in the wrong job, and it takes them between 1 to 2 years to do something about it. So 1 to 2 years
mm.
is a long time to perfect the act of doing what you're very good at. It's a long time.
First,
But you're busy dithering on, oh, what do I do? What do I do? So there's hope.
mm,
There's hope. Um, Colonel Sanders, who was KFC, he
yes.
set out when he was 62 years old. He decided he tried everything. He tried many things, but at the age of
Mm-hmm.
62, he got it right, and he went back on the right track. And that's what I mean by there's hope, regardless of how long you've come, how far you've gone, what how wrong down the wrong road, how long down the wrong
Yes.
road you've gone. There is hope. The hope is that you find someone to get you back on track. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're in the wrong job, you need to think, okay, what is the right job? How do I transition? And you need a coach for that. If
Mm-hmm.
you're frustrated in work and you're confused, or yeah, you're confused, you don't know what exactly you're to do, again, you need a coach. And this is what I do. So I've got this what I call a 3D framework. Okay. 3D framework is simply looking at how you can discover the work that you were created to do. So there are 3 steps. The first step is discover. So we work
Mm-hmm.
on discovering how you can find that work. The second stage is design. And then we look at some
Mm-hmm.
of the personality profiling tools and how we can set what are your career anchors and all of that. And then the third
Mm.
step is once you've discovered and you've designed, obviously you need to develop, because if you have a gift and you don't develop it, then it just sits there and it's just you become mediocre. So to
Mm-hmm.
develop means to be perfect at the thing that you have discovered you're
You are
very good at.
articulated to
So
do.
it's a
Mm.
3 step process of me taking people through that stage. And we do that
Wow.
in a number of ways depending on where you are. So yeah, that's essentially what I would say. So there is hope. There is hope. But the
Yes.
bottom line is you need to recognize that you need help. You can't continue
Fantastic.
going down the road, doing the same thing that you're frustrated about, because it's not going to achieve anything. And if you're not impacting on lives, then why do you exist? The whole
Mm-hmm.
purpose of us existing is that we are impactful. So if you look at a
Yes.
rainbow, right? Rainbow has different colors, different colors. If you
Mm-hmm.
just had all of a sudden just red, it looked like, oh, it's incomplete. So you're
Mm-hmm.
here as part of that rainbow. So we're all part
Mm.
of the colors that makes it beautiful. So if you're just
Mm.
red, then it means where's the other bits? The orange, the green, the indigo, the violet. We need to create that rainbow to make the whole world a complete place. And us
Yes.
being
Yes.
in the place where we're meant to be will paint a perfect picture of that rainbow.
Fantastic. Hey, anyone watching this right now, or you're gonna watch later. Some people watch this way after. I see hundreds of people still go back and watch this live stream later on. Listen, if you've answered, if you answered all of those questions, and you are in that place where you're still confused, frustrated, and you're very clear that the job you're doing right now, your current career, isn't the right one for you. You need a coach. You need someone to help take you from where you are now to where you're supposed to be. And like, Sis Kemi just told us, there are three lanes to that, which she would help you. She would help you to discover, design the plan to move from where you are now to where you're supposed to be, and develop you to achieving that. And guess what? When you work with a coach, you get accelerated results. Something that would have taken about 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, you probably would get in like 3 to 6 months. Why? Because you're working with someone who's gifted and who is skilled at helping you achieve what you need to achieve. So listen to me right now. Go on to KemiOye.com and go and make sure you send her a contact or send her a DM on Instagram. Our Instagram is Kemi_Oye right now, and send her a DM and say, hey, sis, I need you in my life. Okay. I need you in my life right now. I cannot continue like this. God has put people in our lives to help us in specific areas of life. Our own area is to help you find that area that of life that area of career that you're supposed to be in. And listen, you cannot let this moment pass you by. So go on right now to kemiria.com and make sure you tell us about some of your offerings right now.
So I think today it would be really good to offer a 15-minute career discovery session. So
Wow.
essentially what I'm saying is, for 15 minutes, we'll sit down, talk about where you are, where you need to be, and what are some of the barriers and how I can help you get to where you want to be. Now, I'm not for everyone, I have to say. So if you're not prepared to make that transition, then I'm not the one that you want. You want someone else, you want, someone or something else. But if you're 100% committed to wanting to move from where you are to where you need to be, then I'm your person. So if you go onto my Insta bio, if you click on my bio, there's a link there that would take you to the 15-minute discovery session, and you can book a session via Calendly that's there.
Very, very important. Very, very important. In fact, I'm going to get that link right now for people so that they can take advantage of it. So if you go on to that, yes, this is it. I got it. There you go. So if you go on to this link right now, linktr.ee/Kemi Oye, right now you'll be able to access that free 15 minutes free. But free 15 minutes, that's massive gift. All right. All you need to do is click on that free 15 minutes career discovery session. And I tell you, it's going to be worth your time. Whether you're watching it live right now or you're going to watch it later on, access that 15 minutes free career discovery session. It's going to change your life forever. Please do me a favor, wherever you're watching from, help me say a lot of thank you to the career doctor for all that she has blessed us with today. I can tell you this is uncommon. This is literally uncommon. I've written down so much. These are things that changes life. These are things that deliver people, all right, from the shackles of the wrong career and the shackles of the wrong job. So thank you once again, sis, for being a great blessing to us today. In fact, let me quickly do a quick recap. All right, quick recap of those questions. Number one, why am I doing the work I do now? Very powerful questions. Why? Are you doing it for money, for status, for influence, or because of the influences of others? All right. Are you doing it because it's just all right? All right. You've got to find a way to answer that question in a way that is not about any of those things. Number two, all right, if I wasn't paid for 9 months, what would I be doing? Powerful question. Number three, what vacuum does my absence at work create? If they don't miss you, maybe you are not supposed to be where you are. Or can they easily substitute you sharply? You left the day, thank God, We've been waiting for you to give since. Number four, what is my value quotient? What contribution do you bring to the table? Very powerful question. All right. Number five, do I have a relationship capital? Do I have a good relationship capital where you are? Do you relate well with people? If you're frustrated, you will probably not be able to relate well with people. If you're feeling confused, you probably not be able to relate well with people. If you're not able to relate with people, you're in the wrong place. Clearly, she said that. Number six, what is the most creative and exciting thing you've done at work in the last 3 months? We looked at that really quite extensively. If you haven't done anything exciting, anything innovative, anything creative in the last three months in your place of work, then you're probably in the wrong place. Because excited people, fulfilled people create new things, add value all the time, impact people. Number seven, if you left the organization, will you re-employ you? Because that's one very powerful question. If you cannot re-employ you, we don't need to go ask the Holy Ghost any more questions. No. We don't need to ask the Holy Ghost. Just allow the Holy Spirit to rest. Because it means even other human beings will not employ you. It's that simple. Very powerful questions. These are questions that need to go into a book, sis. These are questions that because people need them. People need an assessment tool, something to assess themselves, to answer these questions and say, oh, am I in the right place? Where am I on the radar? Especially that radar you started with us with, from the confused to the frustrated to the just comfortable to the fulfilled. If people are able to position themselves, then they will be able to do the right thing. And please do me a favor. If you're confused, if you're frustrated, if you're just comfortable, you're not feeling any form of fulfillment in your job and career right now, all of these questions we have asked, you've answered no to any of them. Go to Kemi, go to this link on your screen right now, linktr.ee/Kemi Oye. linktr.ee/Kemi Oye. Discovery session is there. You must not miss this. And please, if you know someone that you are very sure they are the wrong career and they need to watch this video, bring them on to Purpose Arena and send them the link. In fact, tag them under the video right now. Tag them, put their name and their name. Don't worry about privacy. It's a closed group. You need to deliver some people for you, for your own good. All right. God bless you all in Jesus' name. Thank you, sis, for a wonderful session.
Thank you, sir.
I really honor and value you, and thank you for being a blessing.
Thank you.
Let me show you all the thank yous. There's so much thank yous. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank yous. Thank yous. Amazing. It's such a joy. Thank you for being a blessing. Thank you for being a last thank you is for my wife. I just checked now.
Thank you to her too.
One of my friends is also watching too. You amazing. Praise God.
Thank you.
Thank you, sis. Okay, let us let you go, and then I'll just wrap up the show. I'll be with you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. What a powerful session that was. Those 7 questions are questions that you must be asking yourself every single day where you are right now at your job. You heard her say quite clearly, some people are in the right team, but in the wrong company. Some people are in the right company, wrong industry, and all of those sort of things like that. These are things that you need to assess yourself. And if you have assessed yourself and quite clearly you are not where you are supposed to be, don't stay there. Don't stay frustrated. Don't stay confused. Literally take a step. And one of the steps you can take right now, is to go on to that Linktree link that she gave us, linktr.ee/Kemi Oye right now. It's 15 minutes free session for you. Free. Take advantage of it. If you're watching this right now and you think your wife needs to watch this, or your husband needs to watch this, or your girlfriend or boyfriend, or any of your siblings, or any of your friends, that you're very sure they need this, maybe because they're in the wrong career or they're frustrated where they are, then you need to tag them in this particular live stream right now. Of course, it'll still be available on Purpose Arena or on my YouTube channel if that's easier for you. all you need to do is make sure you tag them, and you will be doing the job of the savior that God has called you to be, because then they too will learn and they can enter into their purpose driven career. Thank you all for watching this once again. If you want to be a part of this, you want to also bless us like you've been blessed, then all you need to do is send me a message, or any of the admins on Purpose Arena a message, and we will bring, put you on the calendar and bring you up. Next week will be another powerful session with someone very dear to my heart as well. I'll see you again next week by the grace of God with another episode of Seven Things. Thank you to Mami Adisayo Adilawa. Thank you, Brokaya Deni. Thank you, Mami Olubensala Olabode. Thank you, Oguntade. Thank you, Mrs. Solani Balogun. Thank you, everyone. Such a joy to see you all, and for you to be a part of this. I'll see you again soon. God bless you. Bye now.